Hi everyone, I'm Yolanda. In today's tutorial, we will be making a bag out of buttercream. You will find all the recipes in the information window of this video. This cake will take only 4 steps to make. Step 1, we will cream the butter and the sugar at a medium speed. Step 2, add vanilla. Mix again. Step 3, at a low speed, add eggs one by one. Step 4, incorporate the dried ingredients, alternating it with the milk. The dried ingredients are flour, salt, and baking powder. And the liquid could be juice, water, or in this case, milk. And now we will finish mixing all of our ingredients, and we are going to pour our batter into our 2 cake pans already greased and floured. After the cake batter has been divided into 2 equal parts, I will then take the cake pans to the oven and bake for 35 minutes at 350 degrees Fahrenheit. Here are my 2 cakes already baked. I am going to take them out of the cake pans and I'm going to put them in my freezer. Then I will cut them into 2 equal parts, each one of them. I'm going to be using buttercream as filling for this cake. You may use any filling that you like, but in this case, I want to use buttercream. The recipe on how to make the buttercream is in the information window of this video. There is a link to the video on how to make buttercream. Using a serrated knife, I'm going to trim all the sides of the cake. It is important that your cake is very cold when you do this, because if you do this when your cake has just come out of the oven, or if your cake is at room temperature, then you are going to have a lot of crumbs all over the place. So you need to have your cake chilled before you trim it. And a little bit of buttercream will help the cake adhere to the cake board. Let me explain a little what I did with the cake. I've cut like an inch from one side of the cake. I cut it off to add it to the top because I wanted the cake to be higher than it was before, even with the 4 layers. Then I flip the cake over, and now the part that I added is at the bottom, and the top is what it used to be, the bottom. And so now my cake is a little higher than what it was before. Now I'm using this pattern not because I'm going to cut the cake like this pattern, but because I just wanted to measure the height and also the length of the cake. I just wanted to have an idea of how I'm going to cut the cake, so I'm using this pattern. You can also find this pattern in the information window of this video. Now I'm going to trace more or less where I want to cut the cake. Like I said, it's not going to be this pattern, but more or less this will give me an idea on how I want the cake, how I want my cake. And so I'm going to mark the cake, and I'm going to start trimming the edges and also the top of the cake. I'm going to continue shaping and trimming the cake, and when I'm finished, I'm going to come back to you. And as you can see, I already trimmed the cake. I trimmed the sides, more or less the shape that I wanted. I also trimmed part of the top. Now that I have my cake in the shape that I wanted, now I'm going to crumb coat it. A crumb coat is a thin layer of buttercream to seal all the crumbs on the cake. By doing this, there will be no crumbs showing through the icing or through the fondant if you are going to apply fondant. After this, I'm going to freeze the cake for at least 20 minutes. And now it's time for me to give my cake a thicker coat of buttercream. Remember that I crumb coated and then I froze it for 20 minutes and I just took it out, and now I'm applying the buttercream. And this way the buttercream can be applied easier than if the cake was not frozen. So this is a good thing to practice before you cover with buttercream. Give your cake a crumb coat, freeze it, and then apply the buttercream, the final coat of buttercream. And once I'm done giving my cake a second coat of buttercream, I'm going to freeze it again for another 10 to 15 minutes because I want to smooth it out using paper towels. So here is my cake. I took it out again. Now I'm using Viva paper towel to smooth out some of the cake. It doesn't really need to be very smooth. I'm just doing it very lightly just to smooth out a little bit of the cake before I apply the rosettes. And just to let you know, When using this technique to smooth out a cake with a paper towel, the only paper towel that I use is the Viva paper towel, because any other one they always get stuck to the buttercream. This is the only one that I find that does not get stuck. It doesn't stick to the buttercream, and so this is what I use. This is the one that I use. This is not really necessary because we are going to be applying the rosettes, but I just wanted to give it a smooth finish to the cake. Now I'm going to be dividing the surface of the cake into horizontal lines that are about 1 inch thick, 1 inch wide. And I'm going to be using my spatula to do this. You may use a knife or you may use a ruler to mark the lines. Remember that I want each line to be 1 inch wide, and this is why I'm doing it with my spatula like this. If you like to make the decorations with large rosettes, then the width of the lines should be more than 1 inch. It should be larger, but I want mine to be medium, and so my lines are going to be 1 inch thick. I'm using a large tip, which is tip 1M, to make the rosette. My buttercream is very, very cold. I do this so that way when I pipe the rosettes, they come out nice and clean with a clean cut. So now I'm going to be piping from the top to the bottom, increasing as I go down, increasing the rosettes. I started first with 5, and then on the next lines I'm going to be piping 6. And now I'm going to continue adding rosettes to this side and to the other side. Now that I covered the front and the back, I'm going to be covering the sides. For the sides, we are going to do the same thing, increasing the number of rosettes as I go down. And if you have left any gap between rosettes, don't worry about it. All you need to do is just pipe a star, and that's it. You will cover that gap with a star. Now let's make the handle for the bag. Take a piece of fondant, roll it out, and you are going to shape it into a half moon. Then you are going to fold it up. Next, you are going to take a cake cardboard, and you are going to shape it just a little bit and trim the edges. You are going to elongate the edges and shape the handle to the way you want it shaped and to the length that you want it for the bag. This is very easy, very simple. Next, you are going to take luster dust. In this case, I'm using a gray luster dust to cover the handle. You may use the luster dust straight from the bottle just like this, or you can use 1 or 2 drops of vodka or vanilla to dilute it. I like to use it like this, straight. Also, I'm going to take some fondant. I'm going to turn it into some pebbles, and I'm also going to cover the pebbles with luster dust. And by the way, luster dust is edible, so you can be generous when you are using it. Now, take 2 toothpicks, insert it into the handle, and then you're going to push the handle right on top of the bag, on top of the cake. That's it. Now you're going to take the 2 pebbles and glue them on top of the handle. Glue them with edible glue or with water. So as I finish this bag, I thought about people that might want this bag with a strap. So I'm going to show you how the bag is going to look with a strap, and I'm going to show you how to attach a strap to the bag. Alright, so here is the bag with a strap attached. The bag still looks beautiful, but some people might want the bag with a strap. Personally, I like it without the strap, but I'm going to show you how I made the strap and how I attached it to the bag. First, decide on the length of your strap. Decide what is the length that you like the strap to be. Then you're going to roll out a piece of fondant. Roll it out and cut a ribbon of about 3/4 of an inch wide and the length of the strap that you like. You're going to cut that. Then you are going to stitch it. Using a stitching tool, you are going to stitch each side of the strap to give the illusion that the strap has been stitched. If you don't have a stitching tool, use a toothpick and make some marks to simulate stitches. Then you are going to take also luster dust, the same color that you use for the handle, and you are going to also paint the luster dust over the strap. Then very lightly you are going to glue with edible glue. You are going to glue the strap on either side of the bag, very gently and very lightly. And to make the strap holder, you are going to take another piece of fondant and you are going to take a giant tip, cut a circle, or if you don't have a giant tip, cut it with a round cutter, and then cut 2 horizontal lines, one on top and one at the bottom. And you are going to stitch that all around and also paint it with the luster dust and attach it to the strap. Again, very gently. And to make the prong, which is the piece that goes in the middle of the strap holder, that's the piece that allows the strap to roll around. To do that, just take a small piece of fondant, make it into a ball, flatten it, paint it with the luster dust and attach it to the strap holder with edible glue, and that's it. And look at that, you have attached a strap to your bag. Well, this has been all for today. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being with me during this tutorial. I hope that you enjoyed the tutorial as much as I did. Please share, and if you like the tutorial, subscribe to my channel. Again, thank you, and I will see you the next time. And don't miss the next video because I'm going to be making another bag, only this time it's going to be made out of fondant. Until then, God bless you. Take care.